Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day? Ain't it a great day?
Hello everyone, my name's Dean. Let's talk crypto. This is where you subscribe for daily Bitcoin updates and technical analysis. We track the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for the cryptocurrency markets at large. Today is July 12th, 2025. And today I want to talk about my next target for Bitcoin, okay? I've been talking about 118 being the top, and we're at 118. Now what? Now where is Bitcoin likely to go? I'm going to talk about where I think that is and why I think that is. Secondly, we're going to talk about altcoins. Are altcoins going to keep going up while Bitcoin retraces? No. I think everything's going to retrace, but I'm going to tell you why I believe altcoins are going to retrace less, relatively speaking, than Bitcoin, okay? Because in Altseason, this is what you see. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down less. Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up more. That is one of the definitions or one of the ways of explaining or defining Altseason. Finally, I'm going to share a special offer that I'm sharing with my YouTube community. Outside of my YouTube community, I don't think this is going to be available. So if you're subscribed to me or you've shown interest in my videos, maybe the algo will have shown you this through the community feed, but there's something I want to share with you that's only going to be available for 36 hours from the time of this video. So that's about Monday, end of business, and that's it. And I'm not playing, I'm not kidding, I'm not going to offer it after that time. So if you'd like to know more about that, watch until the very end. I'm going to talk about that only at the end of the video. Let's get started with Bitcoin on the 4-hourly time frame as per usual. All right, we talked about the 118K target, many reasons why that was a likely target for the price. And I'm going to show you another really compelling reason on another chart, still a Bitcoin chart, but my master chart. And I'll show you why 118 is very likely the top of the top. And the next move is going to be a strong move down. Now, I made a version of this video or of this analysis, let's say, about 150, 200 days ago. That was a bit early, but we were still in the grips of this distribution channel right here that you can see. But it's essentially the same. As soon as I recognized our being in a distribution channel, I'm like, okay, this is likely going to be a mass liquidation event, a mass cascade liquidation event where many exchanges, hedge funds, companies that are irresponsibly leveraged, irresponsibly long, get punished. The market loves doing this before going in the opposite direction. If you study any proper bull market, I'm not going to do that analysis here because it's going to make the video entirely too long. But if you look at any proper bull market, not just a move up, not just an up and to the right matriculation of price action, but a proper bull market, the likes of which we experienced in 2015, you'll see that it's preceded by a sharp decrease, a capitulative move, a move to the downside, and a strong recovery of price. This is almost, it's the way of things, okay? You can also see it in the mini bull market of 2020, right? We call it the COVID crash. Right after the COVID crash, you had 1 week's recovery into the following bull market, what was called the bull market, okay? So I want to say that, you know, the idea of Bitcoin going down and then back up into a bull market is not foreign. It's not a weird thing. It's not something that I'm making up that we've never seen before. It's actually common. And if people study charts carefully, they would understand that this is actually how things have always gone. You don't go into a bull market, a sustained proper bull market, with, tawdry, very like lackluster up into the right price action. It doesn't work like that. And the beauty, and I'm going to get to the charts in a second, but this is important. The beauty of the mass liquidation event, the cascade of liquidations, cleaning out the order books to the downside before a strong, violent move to the upside is, one, you clean out the order books. Two, you gain massive amounts of liquidity. So all that money that's, between where we are now, all-time high, 118, and 60K, is going to be captured in one fell swoop and then retransferred to the long side. So be very, very careful. We see it all the time. If you're going to expect a strong move in one direction, expect a really strong move in the opposite direction. Markets do it all the time. It's super tricky. This is why we study price action. This is why we do technical analysis. You have to be careful. You cannot be married to price. Rather, you want to pay attention to price action, because price action is more important than actual price. Price is derivative of price action. Let's get on with the analysis. So, we're at 118. Very likely, the next target is the midline of this 250-day channel right here. And the reason I say that is because if you just consider what you're looking at here, it's not like this move and this move and this move are independent. They are all one contiguous channel. They're different aspects of the same channel. This is the top of the channel, bottom of the channel, back to the top of the channel. Well, if that's true, and you're looking at one contiguous 250 plus day channel, you simply have to deal with the top, the middle, and the bottom as per usual. Very simple analysis. The bottom is support, the midline is support when you're above it, resistance when you're below it. The top is resistance. You've been playing at the top since mid-May. Okay, you literally just been playing at the top. You haven't done anything more than that. If you really want to be honest, if you want to zoom out a bit, nothing of consequence in the Bitcoin price has happened since mid-May. You've been dilly-dallying and playing and consolidating and chopping at resistance. So if Bitcoin were to make a consequential move, the next consequential move would be to the next likely level of support, which is the midline of this 250 plus day channel, which represents 90 to 91K. Okay, so my target for Bitcoin next is 90 to 91K, again, which represents the midline of this 250 plus day channel. What do I expect from there? I expect a minor bounce. Do I think that we blow right through? I don't know. We can. I don't know. Honestly, we might even come all the way down to 78. Okay, it's between 91 and 78. I'm doing this with you live. I'm doing this with you extemporaneously. I'm not scripting any of this. I'm just using the principles, and I look at these things all day, day in, day out. And I'm looking now, and I'm thinking, logically, what is the purpose of stopping at the midline? If you're bullish, you want support at the midline, because support at the midline, remember, and is a reclamation of the channel in a bullish sense. And then reversal, that is the bullish scenario. Given that, it's very likely that we're not putting in the bullish scenario. I retract that 90 to 91. I'm going to say the first target is actually the bottom of the channel, 77, 78. That is a definitively bearish move. You come and you rip through, you cut through, you slice through the midline, which should be support in a bullish circumstance, should be support in a bullish scenario. Given the likely bearish scenario of the high time frame price action, we're likely to target the bottom of the channel first, so not 90 to 91, 77 to 78, then put in that necessary midline retest, because you cannot break this 250 plus day channel without retesting the midline of the channel. Channels never break from the top nor the bottom, they break from the midline. It's unlikely that this is possible, but I think it's unlikely. If anything, we might get a very, very subtle bounce here, intermittent bounce here, but I think this is the ultimate target right here, because I'm thinking about it. Think, if this came here and you bounced here, you could do that, sure, but it doesn't make much sense. I think what makes most sense, given all the enthusiasm, given the time, given all of the investment here, is to start the liquidation already from this point, from the all-time high. Come all the way down here, retest the midline, and then continue the work down to our target. Okay? So I promised you one more reason why 118 is very likely the top. Look at this chart. And I actually came across this while in a client session. One of the crypto portfolio mentorship and consultation clients, we were discussing, high time frame price action, and I saw this. I was like, wait, that is another aspect of confluence corroborating the read for Bitcoin at 118. So look at what Bitcoin's been doing. And I've shown this before. Like I said, I had a version of this analysis 150, 200 days ago, saying very likely going to top out at the bottom of this multi-year channel. This is a 10 plus year channel that Bitcoin fell under, okay, in 2022, and has been trying to reclaim with an up and to the right consolidation. Most people call that a bull market. It's not a bull market. I understand that it's very unpopular to say that Bitcoin is not in a bull market, although we've gone from 16K to 118K. But again, I'm not going to argue about it, because I understand the price has increased by orders of magnitude, but that is still not a bull market in the truest sense. That's up and to the right consolidation. The bull market starts once you finish this retest, okay? And what you can see here on this chart is a very nice inverse head and shoulders that lasts 1,000 plus days. I showed you a similar version of this in altcoins, okay? One of the reasons I'm so bullish on most altcoins is because altcoins are here. They've completed this 1,000 plus day inverse head and shoulders retest, and the retest of the retest, and they're out. This is why Altseason has started, in my estimation, and you can see it in the charts. But for Bitcoin's essentially at the end of its bear market. The bear market for Bitcoin was actually up and to the right. That's how bullish it is, right, as an asset. So the end of the bear market, it's not going down back to the bottom of the bear market, not at all. It's actually quite bullish, especially if you got involved in Bitcoin at the beginning of, or at the lows of the bear market. This is going to be nothing for you. This is just going to be a very logical retest of the 60K region. I kept saying 60 to 70K, 60 to 70K. I'm going to be more clear. I'm going to just say 60K. 60K is the target. As you can see here, it's very, very clear with the chart that this level, as designated by this dotted line, is your support. And this is where you want to retest. Okay, it's both a retest of this this bull flag, right, that broke out has to be retested, and this higher time frame multi-year support level. So I'm just going to keep saying it. It's 60K. Okay? 60K is where I'm saying Bitcoin's bull market starts. Not now, and it didn't start at 16K. It starts at 60K, right? 58 it says on this channel or on this chart, but it's essentially 60K. Okay, so we're looking for that declension, but you can see on this chart why 118 was the target and 118 was the resistance all along, and it's been put in since the end of last year. So December of 2024, right, you put in a top on this trend line, on this resistance level. Again, January of 2025, look, for those of you who don't see what I'm doing, I'm basically tracing this trend line, this resistance level. To make a trend line, you need at least 2 points. We have 1, 2, 3. This would be the fourth. And so you can see 118 is essentially 4 times that the price tried to break this trend line. It never did. Okay? And so that is the rejection, I think, the ultimate rejection for Bitcoin. And the target is 59K, 60K. Okay? So that's what I'm seeing on my master chart. And then you get the beginning of Bitcoin's bull run. Now, having said that, Bitcoin's at the end of its bear market. And again, I'll get to what I'm going to say to conclude this thought towards the end of the video. But let me just say how unpopular, let me underline how unpopular this view is, how unpopular this trading thesis is. How many other analysts do you know are saying that Bitcoin's in the final stages of its bear market, that Bitcoin's bull market has yet to begin? How many analysts have said that? And I just didn't start saying that. I've been saying that for quite some time. Furthermore, as a result of my saying that and the price actually looking like it's likely going to confirm my thesis, I'm just going to say, I've been hit and miss with some small term, medium term calls here and there, but generally speaking, my high time frame calls, my high time frame read of the market has been quite accurate. As a result, if this plays out, I might get a lot more busy. And so that will also affect my availability. I'm going to continue to publish YouTube. I'm going to continue to do what I do with my current clients, but my fees will definitely change. They'll definitely change. I'm not going to change my fees for current clients. So just keep that in mind for what I'm going to say at the end of the video. Let's get on with the analysis. All right. Looking at altcoins, having said what we said about Bitcoin, Bitcoin is at the end of its bear market and it's likely on a path. It's at the top of a move, right? Where we're claiming that it's at this massive resistance, right? That you can see from December of 2024. So this resistance for Bitcoin, you can actually see it on this chart as well, right? It's just not as clear on this chart. But this resistance for Bitcoin that is represented by 118K is a 204-day resistance. Resistances don't break at resistance. You first got to retrace, then break them in one fell swoop. And they usually reject after hitting. Okay? So it's very likely we get our retracement. It's very likely we get our target down to between 77 and 78, which represents the bottom of this channel. Having said all that, are altcoins bullish? Because I mean that's a significant retracement, right? You're no longer looking at a 21% move. You're looking at a 33% move for Bitcoin. 33, that's a massive move. And I'll say, yes, altcoins are still bullish. And I'm not going to say how it's going to happen. But I'm going to say altcoins are likely to retrace normal retracements. Meaning, if they're wave 1, they're likely to make a 62% wave 2 retracement. Okay? that seems like a lot, but when I say 62%, 62% of the previous uptrend, right? So let's look at the total 3. So right now you can see altcoins have broken out of this channel. And ever since we called the de facto start of Altseason, we've been making higher highs and higher lows, chopping up through this channel and breaking out of the channel. Everything looks great. It's beautiful, bullish price action. It's confirmed with the candles. But we do have a channel here, okay? And that channel has to be retested like any other channel. So what I'm expecting from altcoins is, given that you're at 500-day resistance, right? This right here is a 500-day resistance. If you know this chart, you come up here, you're going to have to come back down here. And at some point in time, retest the midline of this channel before continuing up, then testing the top of the channel and going up again. Don't be surprised or shocked or discouraged if you do see that move in altcoins. So if Bitcoin goes down 33%, altcoins are likely to go down as well, but not as much. And when I say altcoins, I'm talking about altcoins that are on support, altcoins that are bullish. I'm not talking about some random pump fund altcoin that just came out the other day. I'm not counting that. I'm counting all the altcoins that are bullish, that are likely to give sustained gains in the bull market. So you can see here, the next move for altcoins that we're looking for using this total 3 chart is going to be a move that retests this channel's midline, because channels do not break from the bottom. As you can see, you were consolidating from the bottom, you rejected from the midline, you broke from the bottom, you have to retest the midline, and then ultimately break the channel from the midline. That is the only way channels break, okay? You can see it time and time and time and time again. So this is what I'm expecting from the total market cap, from the altcoin market cap chart. Okay, and what else can I say about this? Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, this is exactly what, you know, we've been expecting. So a reclamation of this level, break, and an ultimate retest of the midline, then continuation. So altcoins are bullish. And how do we know with a high degree of probability that altcoins are going to go down less than Bitcoin? So the definition of altseason, we keep saying altseason, altseason, altseason. It doesn't just mean green candles. It doesn't just mean alts pump to Valhalla and make generational money. It means technically, when you look at how Bitcoin reacts to the markets, and well, when you look at Bitcoin's price action and the aggregate altcoin price action, you're going to see altcoins react more bullishly than Bitcoin. So when altcoins go up, Bitcoin goes up, altcoins go up substantially more. Bitcoin goes down, altcoins go down substantially less. And the confirmation of all of that is in this chart right here, the crypto market cap Bitcoin dominance chart. And it should be going down, and it's right now showing a lot of downwards momentum. Okay? So this keeps going down. Whatever Bitcoin does, Bitcoin's targeting 59, 60K. It doesn't matter. As long as this is trending downwards, it's very safe to be in altcoins that are on support, okay? That have a published, established history of a bear market, have consolidated for months and years. They're likely to produce sustained gains in the bull market. Okay, so as long as this chart keeps trending down, you're fine in your altcoins irrespective of what Bitcoin is likely going to do. Many people are going to falsely claim that Bitcoin's entered it's bear market, that 118 is the cycle top, right? That everything's going to enter a bear market. All of that is very unlikely. I could be wrong, but very unlikely given my analysis, given what the charts are saying. Okay. Final thing I want to say is this. In 36 hours, I'm ending this offer, and I'm only running it for 36 hours. I'm not going to be like, okay, 24 more hours. No, I'm only running it for 36 hours because it's actually not in my best financial interests. But I want to do it because I think if you're here and if you've been paying attention, if you're a client of mine, you've gone through hell. And we've collectively suffered quite a bit waiting for this alt season and experiencing choppy side to side BS price action. And my services aren't that much, but still, you know, having the dedication, having the fortitude to stay with an analyst even in the most difficult times, watch his analysis or her analysis, you know, I feel like that's commendable, and I want to show support for that. And I think, like I said earlier in the video, if I'm correct and altcoins have entered an alt season, and after this coming retracement of their midline retest, they're going to start putting up gaudy numbers, my fees are going to go up. I'm going to have a lot more sort of interest from not just individuals, but also institutions looking to, you know, make use of my services. So I'll get more busy, and as a result, you know, I'll have to charge more, not just for those institutions, but for everybody. I'm not going to increase fees for current clients. I'm going to cap that where it's at. But any new clientele, definitely, the fees are going to be substantially higher. I have, you know, almost 9 years of experience in this market, and I've done a ton of analysis, and I have a track record. And I'm probably one of the only ones that I know of that's calling for what I'm calling for. It's not a popular call. It's very unpopular, like I said. Very few people are saying what I'm saying and are reading the market like I'm reading. And if it does play out in that way, I mean, my fees have to go up. You know, they have to go up. Have I been wrong before? Absolutely. But like, this is what I'm considering the very important call, the larger high time frame call, right? The more substantive, fundamental call on what the market's doing. And that I've been decently correct and accurate on, right? Timing's another thing for alt season. I mean, that's tough. But, you know, I don't know. I've been doing my best with that. That to say, this offer is going to be 36 hours. I'm offering my services for 1 year with one-time payment for $997. All right, typically it's $150 per month. That, like I said, once this move happens and we get confirmation of, you know, these massive moves to the upside, altcoins start flying, my fees are going to go up naturally. But like I said, for current clients, if you stay with your current membership, I'm not going to change your pricing, but new clients are going to pay more. But for 36 hours, I'm going to offer my services for a year, which should encompass the majority of this alt season, in my estimation. It could go longer, but the majority of it for $997. Okay, that's a substantial discount on the current price. And I'm only offering this for 36 hours. You can sign up at the pinned comment below. I'm just going to make it one big link. You can sign up for it, and you'll be in the system for a year. And that includes monthly updates, continuous support, you know, my helping you identify up to 5 altcoins that are actually going to give sustained gains, balancing your portfolio, you know, giving you levels of support and resistance to trade so that you can maximize your portfolio. All of that stuff is all included. And for current clients, if you do, you don't have to, but if you do want to take advantage of this, you can. Just go ahead and purchase it, and I'll cancel your current membership. And so that's it. Guys, I hope this was helpful. I hope this was useful. Like, share, and subscribe as usual. If you got value and all the stuff at the pinned comment below, check it out. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
My prevalent time slot, I vocalize too deep to localize, even when I'm right on the surface. You act surprised how I work this, but I can't lie. Many a good alibi. I'll catch you later. Visions are vividly enhanced with emphasis and amethyst to develop morale advantages which help us manifest. Magnanimous, we body vitals like evangelists. So listen when you're dealing with people who be revealing premonitions with precision. At least that's what I'm aiming at for now. I speak the language of the world, meandering throughout the crowd. Used to feel safe to say anything, but now it's a risk. It's hard for me to let go when all I can do is reminisce. Gone like the wind, here's where I begin. Should I smile?